Oh my goodness! Looks like we're live. Hello, hello, everyone! Welcome to Vibes the Masterclass. This is a fucking moment because this masterclass is gonna have all the vibes. When you're joining, please make sure you say hello. Let me see, can I do anything? See who's here. When you're here, say hello. Phelan! Hi! Jen's here! Oh, okay, I'm really excited. I'm live on my computer. It's just easier. Audrey! This is fun. This is so fun. So, I had this whole idea in my head 5 minutes ago that I wanted to play that song. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe to open up this video and have an awkward little dance party with you. But then I wasn't sure if I'd go to Facebook jail and they'd mute my video for using a song. Angela, Brooke, Nicole, hello, hello. So let's just have an It's a Vibe dance party anyway, to no music, which makes it totally less awkward. It's a vibe. That's a vibe. It's a vibe. And I totally usually have better dance moves when I'm not sitting at a computer. Maybe. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Hey, Vanessa! Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm super excited about this. Firstly, this masterclass is going to be so good because we're talking about vibes. And I know that's a very trendy word, but we're going to get into the depth of what that really even means, why it's important, all the things, and I'm going to reveal the secret project, which I know you guys don't know yet what it is. So it's you don't know how exciting it is yet, but I'm so excited about it, so you'll see soon. Yay for a dance party, Abby! Ooh, a gift, cool. I'm dancing. Oh, I love you guys. This is why you my bitches. In the best context of the word, of course. Okay, so Vibes the Masterclass. Okay, where do I even begin? I'm I don't know why I have all these Mean Girls things in my head at the moment, but anyway, so vibes, right? We talk about vibes all the time. I use the term it's a vibe all the time. You'll hear me say very often, it's a vibe, and oh my god, what a vibe, and ooh, now that's a vibe. And the reason that I use this is because one, I'm cool. I'm like a cool coach. And then secondly, the reason is that our vibration, when we actually get to the depth of what we mean when we're talking about vibes, is fucking life-changing. Right? I used to go through my life and I didn't actually have an understanding of how much our vibration actually impacts the world around us. And I know all of you will be privy to the law of attraction. So you know that like attracts like, and what that's really saying is like vibration attracts like vibration, right? Especially then when we pull in the universal law of the law of vibration, which is literally that everything is vibrating, everything holds a frequency, everything holds a vibration. I say it all the time too, because energy is everything. F yes it is. Energy is everything. And in terms of our own standard, sometimes we hear people talk about having crystals next to you, and I've always got a small handful on my desk. I mean, my crystal collection isn't once what it was, because when I traveled the world full time with my husband, we sold all our shit. So I have a handful of crystals now, and one big fuck off rose quartz crystal that you'll see often in my stories. But the reason why crystals are such a cool little buddy to have with us, because crystals hold very specific frequency and vibration, right? Crystals hold a vibration, and when we keep them in our world, when we surround ourselves with them, it's we're attuning to the vibration that the crystal's emitting. Therefore, we are becoming a like match for the high vibrational things that crystals stand for, right? That's why there's abundance crystals and positive thinking crystals and all those things. Literally lol. And yeah, so for those of you who don't know a lot about my story, or you're seeing me for the first time, I'm so glad that you're here, because I'm keep glad, because it's great to get to know you. And for those of you that I already know, I'm so happy that you're here too, because it's always fun to hang out with my friends. But I am a psychic business coach, and I feel like that is the tip of the iceberg in terms of the description, because we all know none of us fit into a box. Try, not happening. And so it's a very fancy cool label, I know, but it is really just like the smallest percentage of what I do. I do tend to work with a lot of entrepreneurs, leaders, people who know that they're here for a fucking purpose and soul mission. Whether or not they have clarity on it yet doesn't matter, you know it. And I basically just help people like channel their purpose into an epic business, get rich as fuck, have fun, be an amazing human. La da 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 da. I'm really good at it. Yeah, just to sum it up. Oh, I have to keep scrolling down to see the comments, so excuse me if I get distracted. Hey, Tara! Hey, Emily! Oh, hey, husband. Thanks. So that's what I do, and I've been a coach for 2 years and almost 10 months. And like maybe a coach all my life, but in my business, like I started at the start of 2018, and I started my business broke as fuck, and I'm not exaggerating. Like I was so broke. We were in so much credit. That's a vibe. I know. I'm a vibe. I just say we're all a vibe. I'm a vibe. And I'm very humble. No, I say it with love, for we are all allowed to recognize our own awesomeness. But I was so broke when I started my business, but I was so determined because I'd been through a lot of challenging growth opportunities in my life at that point, and I'd learned a few things. I'd learned how to work with my vibration. Had I seen a lot of those things transmute into physical reality yet? No. Some things though. I mean, I had an incredible husband. I had, a lot of good things in my life at that point, but I hadn't seen it work in the way that I really desired to see it work. One of the avenues that felt really important to me, which was my purpose, which was how I was actually going to contribute to the world and make money and give and have impact and feel fulfillment and all those things, right? So I hadn't seen that at that point in my life yet, but I really had started to see the power of shifting our own energy. Okay, hell yeah. So there was, anyway, cutting a very long story short, I started my business in complete alignment, 3 core pillars I always talk about that I started my business with. 1, following my intuition no matter how scary, that's a vibe. 2, working on my energetic alignment, which that kind of subs into 2 categories, which was masculine and feminine and human design. And that's kind of like very much like the earthly vibe of how I was bringing forward, like how I was using my human, I guess, like balancing my day-to-day life and balancing how I move through the world. The intuition part is how I work with spirit and my spirit team and my soul. And then finally, it was to only do things that I actually enjoy, like never do anything that I don't absolutely love in my business. And they're really great pillars to have in your business, by the way. Feel free to adopt any of them, any or all. And I then started making some money. Then I said, hey, husband, want to sell all our shit and travel the world full time and see what happens? And he goes, you're fucking crazy. We're super in debt. We have no credit, savings, or backups, but this sounds amazing. Let's do it. So that we did. And we started traveling. We traveled for over 1.5 years until the end of last year. I was pregnant, super sick while I was pregnant. We moved to Canada. It's a whole thing. And now here we are. I have a super adorable baby and life's good. Follow It Feels Good. Fuck yes. Like that needs to be a standard. And a big part of what I do is I use spirit, I use my psychic gifts, I use strategy and business strategy because it's incredibly important as well. I love it when 2 worlds get to collide in one space. And I use human design because I really know the power of understanding our own energetic system. And at the core of it, though, it's about the work that we do on an internal level. It's about who we're becoming. It's about the frequency and the vibration that we emit, right? Supportive partners, everything. Oh my God, my husband's the best. And he's legit the best. Like he cooks for me every day. Sometimes when I feel like cooking, I do it, but that doesn't happen often. But yeah, so this frequency and this vibration, this energy at the core of it is what's so incredibly important, because when we're out in the world, right, like as I was saying before, it's law of attraction 101. what we're putting out into the world is what's matching back to us. And I will make a small comment. I mean, this masterclass isn't on this topic, but it's very well worth noting. It doesn't mean that you only ever have to be in a good mood. You can never be in a bad mood, although I'm going to be circling back to that in a minute. And it also doesn't mean that, wait, what was it? Wait, what did I say about our frequency and our vibration? It also doesn't mean that if there's bad things happen to you, it's your fault and you're a crooked human and your vibration sucks. Like, it doesn't mean that, right? And that's like a whole in-depth thing, but I really do believe our soul knows what the F it's doing all of the time, and our soul actually really loves all the parts of the human experience, even though our human sometimes feels a little bit of pain because of it. Our soul is here for specific reasons and specific growth, and it knows what we need to go through. And it knows what it wants to experience as well. And so what I mean by this, though, is that once we become aware that we can actually shift things, that we actually can start paying attention to our thoughts, we can start paying attention to our frequency, we can start shifting things in our life, we can actually start to play with this energy. And like, playing in life is one of my big theories of like really what I think we're here for, is really just to play and have a little bit more fun. Because when we start playing with energy, when we start playing with our vibration, we get to experience so many things that the rigidity of our logic, that the rigidity of our it has to be this way, or any of those things kind of doesn't allow. Hey Connie, how's Milo? So, I feel like I have a little itch in my nose. Sorry. Okay, so the first thing when we're talking about, well, not the first thing, I've already given you like 100 things, but the next thing is that the work, right, isn't just that. For example, in my journey, right, how I've built my business, how I work with my clients, isn't just about like, hey, do this, hey, do that, hey, do this, do that, do this, do that. And it's all about what we're doing in the world. Like I mentioned before, it's a lot about who we're becoming, right? It's a lot about who we're being. It is what our core frequency is, which means that when we're actually doing the work, it's all about that. And what comes under that category? Well, everything that contributes to our vibe. And I mentioned before, I said thoughts, right? Our thoughts make a huge difference to our vibe. There's like I don't even know what it's called, but it's like a results cycle. And it talks about how it's like, we have like a thought, which then provokes a feeling, which that feeling then impacts the action we take, which then impacts the result we get. Oh, it's the feedback loop, right? And that can be a positive or a negative feedback loop. If we have a positive thought or if we have a negative thought, it's going to change the feeling, the action, and then the result, correct? And that's only off our perception of it, because the truth is the circumstance usually is a neutral circumstance, right? I talk about it in my book as well. Small plug. I have a book on Amazon. But yeah, so there's the feedback loop. And that feedback loop, how we're thinking, right, is one of the first things that we can actually consciously shift. And it doesn't mean that we have to be perfect. And here's an example of how I see it come up with my clients all the time. They say, oh my gosh, I'm having this experience. Like, I'm scared nobody's going to sign up to my program, like classic one, right? All have had that. So it's like, I'm scared nobody's going to sign up to my program. And so they're sitting in this energy, and it's impacting the way they're showing up. It's impacting the way they're thinking. And then on another energetic frequency, other than what it's doing in their own world, it's sending out these frequencies, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean that, well, I guess it does in a way, but I was going to say it doesn't necessarily mean that they're attracting people not signing up to their program, but it kind of is, because what is really truly happening is they're in a fear state around their program. And so what's happening is they're attracting potential clients that are in a fear state about investing, right? Our clients are so often a mirror to us, which is why when we work on our own frequency and our own thoughts and our own way of being in the world, we shift the clients that we call into our life. And we often call in clients that are a lot more certain in their decision. So, then that's the first step, right? And so, okay, what can we do differently? Well, we'll shift the thought. What's the better feeling thought here, right? Abraham Hicks talks about this all the time. What's the better feeling thought? Well, the better feeling thought is that people will join my program, right? What if people do join my program? And prompting our mind with questions rather than like forced statements is also a really powerful way to kind of like soothe our mind from its fight back mentality, where where you say like people are going to join and it's like, no they're not, you suck. And we're like, nah. But then it's like, what if people join? It almost like sparks an excitement. Questions are such a powerful way to play with your mind. It's wild. It's amazing. There's like manifestation techniques that work around questions. It's amazing. So then we have this thought, right? This better feeling thought. What if people do join my program? And better feeling thought could even be, it doesn't fucking matter if people join this program because I'm successful no matter what. And I am going to continue to impact people no matter what the fuck I do. So, I mean, that's also a really great feeling thought. And so we can start to actually shift our thoughts. And when we shift our thoughts, we start feeling better, correct? And then it's like shifting different things. Now, what happens is we think, oh my gosh, okay, the better feeling thought, the better vibrational thought, I should say, is that what if people do join my program? What if this program is such an incredible success, right? Feel free to use any of these, by the way, for free for you. So, what if people do join my program? What if this is the most incredible launch that I ever do have? And so we ask ourselves that question, and then we notice we're like chilling, we're like doing the dishes, getting a snack, eating a sandwich, who knows, and all of a sudden we're like, duh, 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 oh my god, what if people don't join my program? And then we're like, damn it, I ruined it, my vibration sucks, everything sucks, I'm not going to attract any clients, now what, right? Like we get into this like loop spiral in our head where we think that as soon as we have one thought that doesn't match the perfect fucking pinnacle of all amazing thoughts in the world, that we've ruined everything and now our vibration sucks. And I know that's being dramatic, but our minds are dramatic. Don't tell me you haven't gone there in your mind before. So this happens, and then we go, oh my god, I've noticed it, right? Creating awareness of our thoughts is such a big part of the work, and is such a big part of shifting our vibration. And I think there's so much to be said about honoring the shadow, honoring the fears, honoring what comes through our human that does see things in a very three-dimensional way, and allowing that to be there. And you'll hear me talk a lot about honoring the human part of ourselves. And the reason for that is because although the human houses the ego, which is all of our fear, all of our limitation, all of our conditioning, all of our past life traumas just chilling within our human mind, and limitations, the human is also where we experience life, right? Every single thing we want to experience in this lifetime happens through the human. So without the human, none of this is for anything. So there's a huge thing to be said about honoring the human part of ourselves. And here's where people get tripped up so often, is that they hear the thoughts, they hear the fears in their mind, they hear those things, and rather than just noticing them, honoring them, healing whatever needs to be healed, whatever, transmuting some magic, just listening, just paying attention, just even witnessing and then moving on, we follow those thoughts. We let the human lead. And what happens when we let the human lead is we're living in a very dense vibrational state, right? So when we talk about the 3D world, the 5D world, like in the most simplistic term, really all that I'm talking about is our world of limitation and our world of limitlessness, right? Which is the soul and the human. And they're having a friggin' party here on Earth, having an experience that we are really witnessing unfolding. And we're kind of like choosing what side we listen to all of the time. But we have these two parts of ourselves, and the human knows our limitlessness. It knows everything that's possible for us. And really, in order for us to experience life at the highest potential of what we could experience, the soul really has all the answers, because the soul doesn't buy into the limitations because it knows your core essence of limitlessness. So cool. I get so nerdy about this stuff. And then the human, though, right? We have all these thoughts and they feel so real because we like forget that we're these infinite beings when we're born. And then we listen to that and we let the human lead, when the human is actually our vehicle for experience and the soul is here to lead us. And so when we can remind ourselves that, we can actually start shifting our vibration. We're shifting from a 3D vibration, a limited vibration, to a limitless, to a soul, to a 5D vibration, simply by shifting what side of the coin we're listening to. So cool, I know. So this is a big way that we start shifting our vibration, right? And so I guess like the underlying thing that I want to say here is that it's not that you can't ever have thoughts or do things or whatever that don't seem totally aligned with the fullest, highest vibration, whatever, but it means that we make it a priority and we consistently bring ourselves back to this space where we're not just ignoring all the low vibe stuff, we're acknowledging it, transmuting it, healing it, whatever needs to be done, but we're continuously moving forward back into that light energy, back into really what's here to lead us, right? So the way that we think about ourselves and our business has so much to do with it. And one of the ways that I see entrepreneurs, for example, kind of messing with their juju vibes of their business all the time is when they create limitations for their business and they create limitations and expectations for their business that aren't fair, right? What do I mean by that? Limitations for your business are, I'm not ready to do this. I'm not as good as her. Like when we start comparing ourselves to other people, when we start saying that we don't have what it takes in whatever capacity those things come through, we are creating limitations to the exponential potential of what could happen within our business. And then, what did I say when we're limiting and said something else? Anyway, it'll come to me. But those are big ways that the expectations for our business as well. And an unfair expectation on our business is that it always needs to be a linear fucking uphill line of success all of the time. No dips, no ebbs and flows, no cycles like everything else in nature. It needs to be up every single fucking day, otherwise I'm failing, and this is not cool. And now I'm questioning my programs, I'm questioning my worth, I'm questioning my purpose, I'm questioning everything else going on in my world, right? And when we get into that space, well, no, basically, just no. Oh, dang. Don't worry. I saw this really cool feature going Facebook Live on my computer, and it was a screen share, and I really wanted to screen share the secret reveal, and I just realized it doesn't work once you've already started the live. Oh well, we'll think of a new way for me to share this. Yeah, so our expectations and our limitations around our business and our life in general are ways that we really mess with our juju. So I really kind of feel like a big shifts, and I know these sound like super elusive, but they come through consistently bringing yourself back here. They're not something that needs to be consistent, like no falter energy in your life, but trust, right? Trusting that you're on the right path, choosing the vibrational thread that you want to follow, right? Whether that be the limited 3D version or the limitless 5D version, and allowing that to happen. And through this, so much personal growth happens. We literally are changing. We're literally releasing conditioning. We're healing things. And as we heal things, our vibration shifts and the way that we see the world becomes more expansive. And as we see the world as more expansive, our vibration is matched to the things that we desire on a whole new level, right? It's like we're aware of what we want, but we also don't have a million friggin' things weighing us down. So that's huge. Now, the other things, that's the very internal part, right? And it really comes down to self-leadership, right? Self-responsibility and self-leadership. And then there's the external things that we can do to shift our vibes. And one of those things is coming to things like this, like being in an environment where you're surrounded by high vibe people, where you have the opportunity to tap into someone else's aura, someone else's frequency, someone else's vibe, and actually literally download what they've experienced, what they've been through, and the level of their vibration in particular areas of their life is a wonderful way to shift and elevate your vibration. And the cool thing is you can do this in so many ways. One of the reasons that I love social media is for the connectedness that it creates for people. And by the way, if you ever have like a question pop up, feel free to ask because I'm more than happy to answer. questions as we go. But yeah, social media is such a great way to get around people who are like thinking differently, right? Facebook groups have become such a haven for people for this, because it's like your vibration like is amplified when you're in a space that contains it as well. Not contains it in terms of limits it, but it's like the conscious space for vibration calibration, I suppose you can say. And so there's that, right? This is why having a coach and investing in your way in those kinds of things is so powerful as well, is because when you actually consciously choose to be in a space where they're also consciously choosing to give you that energy. And I talk about, it's like everything that we go through creates like a portal that we step through. And when we get into a relationship like coaching, then it's like they can step through your portal and they can learn the things, and their DNA literally shifts. It's like DNA coding, and where they're downloading all of these codes from you. And it's fucking amazing. It's magic. We're in this together. Yes, we are. And so that's another really beautiful thing. Listening to audiobooks, podcasts, like all of these things that get us into this vibrational state are so, so powerful. And I recommend that everybody has some sort of outlet for connecting with people, or yeah, I guess mostly people, but like other things as well. Are the non-people ways that we also work with our vibration is nature, of course, like water, nature, trees, grass, dirt, all of these earth elements, fire, right? They're really, really powerful for working on our vibration as well, because the earth has its own frequency, right? If you've heard of the Schumann resonance, it's like the vibe of the earth. And like I'm not a wizard expert on any of this stuff, but like I know that the earth like has a vibration, and everybody and everything used to be in sync with this vibration, and it was just like flow and harmony. And then through like different things, technology and whatever, like somehow we kind of like jolted out of the sync with the energy. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong if anybody knows the details, but that's the gist of something like that, right? And so when we're in nature, it's like we're attuning back to the heartbeat of the earth, which is so powerful because it kind of gives us a reset. So if you know anything about human design, if you don't, just hear my words and take what you will from them. But if you know anything about human design, we often talk about our open centers that pick up conditioning from the world around us, but also our most brilliant centers, because they're also where we're here to become wise and become pillars for knowledge and wisdom in those areas. The white centers in our chart, right? We talk about clearing the energy from those, and the earth elements are an incredible way to do that because of the vibrational frequency that those things hold, right? So those are other really, really powerful ways that we can shift our vibrations and elevate our vibrations on a consistent daily basis. And I do think as well, there's other things to be said about like the priorities that we make in our life for good vibrations. And a big part of that, I think, is the pillars of like the things that feel important to us. All of us are so unique. Me too. I love HD. All of us are so unique in terms of what we're here to really love and experience and enjoy. And so there's different things that really make us happy, and they don't have to be big things, and they can be big things. They can be material. They can also not be material. We know that genuinely, like, happiness is something we conjure up from within, and we absolutely the goal is to be happy no matter what the circumstance, right? Because we're happy in our heart, in our soul. However, there's things that we can do to enhance our experience, right? That kind of just get to make it a little bit more fun. And so those are the things that I think is so important to spend time actually becoming really clear on. And if you haven't done this before, I recommend looking at your life and being like, what are the things that you actually really enjoy? And chances are there's a lot of things that you actually genuinely enjoy that you're not allowing yourself to pull the pleasure from. And here's such a simple but obvious example I have in my own life. Like when I was in my 5 years of struggling entrepreneur years before my coaching business, I hustled so freaking hard because I thought that I had to push. Like I literally, when I think back to that time, it was like I was trying to like manipulate energy to be like, you will vibrate at this vibration and I'm gonna put you here and put you here and put you here. But I was like trying to force it to happen, and it wasn't doesn't really work that way. Anyway, so still from a very loving place, but I just didn't know any better at that point in my life. You know, I'm a line 6, so first 30 years, very trial and error-ish. And then, yeah, so anyway, I like forced and hustled and all the things so hard, and I am a lover of tea. I drink a lot of tea and various teas, and I would always have a cup of tea all the time with me, but I was so like focused on what I had to do or I thought I had to do that it literally, I never realized the joy and pleasure in drinking a cup of tea. And this is one of my most simple pleasures now, is when I do have a cup of tea, literally, because I consciously became aware of how much I just love having that. You put me with a cup of tea in a view, I'll be the happiest lady. I'm just telling you. But anyway, it's like when I hold a cup of tea, I feel the warmth of the cup, and I notice how that makes my body feel. When I drink it and it's just like that warm, like tea going into my body. I know this sounds like really ridiculous because I'm talking about tea, but y'all know what I mean if you love hot drinks. Or choose the drink of your liking. But yeah, it's like I started to notice how it was actually like a pleasurable experience for my body. And I made it a practice where every single time I had a cup of tea, I didn't just like slurp it down and was like, bah! You know, I just enjoyed it, and I noticed the warmth, and I noticed the way the porcelain feels, you know, and I love different cups and different shapes and how they feel in your hand. And I'm realizing how ridiculous I sound right now, but it's okay. And then it was just like I suddenly could pull so much pleasure and so much joy from this experience that now, even while I am having a cup of tea while I'm talking, I don't, like, my body responds to the joy of holding that cup of tea even when I'm not consciously aware of it anymore. And being able to become aware of where you're doing things in your life that are actually incredibly joyful, but you're not actually allowing yourself the space to pull the pleasure from them, is a really big one, because we all have time, we all have space for those things. The biggest thing I've witnessed in people is they're just not noticing. They're not even noticing that they're doing it. So anyway, start noticing. Thanks for this. I felt weak by not being able to keep myself up all the time. Oh my gosh, Audrey, we all have those moments. That is 100% okay. This masterclass triggered a divine download for me that I've been waiting for. I'm so happy, Jen! Yay! That's what I realized, how much I love to have fun. Yes, Connie. I'm the same. I love tea and enjoying it. Give me tea, of you, good book, and I'm the happiest person. Oh, me too. It's not ridiculous. I was really feeling the vibe from my hot tea last night. Yes, being mindful for the simple things I relate. It's those little pleasures in life that we often overlook the significance of. And this is the crazy thing. Those things make up our day-to-day basis, like our day-to-day life, because we're not going fucking traveling the world every single day. We're not like, I don't know, we're not having like the super peaks and unique experience of our life necessarily on a daily basis, right? But small things we do every day, right? The people in our life we interact with on a daily basis, or at least frequent basis, right? The way that we choose to organize our day, and even small things like meditation for me has become such a priority practice because I know what it does to my vibration, but it is something that I also, a part of me, especially when I'm more in my ego side, doesn't value, because it's, oh, the time to go do it. What is it really for? I just close my eyes for 10 minutes. Like, you know, like I can get all up into this story, but then when I remember that it connects me with my spirit, it connects me with my purpose through spirit, I really do believe that when I allow myself to be in that space, I'm opening myself up to be a channel for spirit, so spirit can use who I'm designed to be in this world to the greatest benefit. So I'm having the biggest impact, and I'm enjoying my experience the most, and I'm, you know, contributing outwardly as well. And so that is such a sacred experience for me, that I choose to make it a priority, and I choose to remember that when I engage in those activities, right? I literally had this exact realization yesterday. Oh, the synchronicities. It's great to learn this from dogs. My dog's always happy to see me in the morning. Oh, that's so amazing. Yeah, it's same like my baby right now as well. When he wakes up, he's like, ah! He like does these happy little squeals. And it's just the cutest thing. Like after every nap, he's like, well, most naps. he is teething right now. So, um, yeah, so it's a completely different experience, right? And my goal really in life, like I guess one of them that I'm realizing, I have many goals, I'm multifaceted, but one of the things that feels really important to me is to always remember that, to always be able to find joy in no matter the circumstance. And I'm so glad that I learned this before I had the success that I have now. Not because I don't think I would have learned the lesson otherwise, but because it made every part of my experience so much more beautiful. You know, like the first year of my business where I was really finding my feet still, that was, you know, like I was seeing proof it was working, but I wasn't seeing it at the extent I really desired to. Like I still felt stressed about money all the time and all the things, right? But, well, on some level, my money work side of me, no, but there was still very real fears in my life around money. But because of the work that I'd done prior to that, I always knew how to bring myself into a space of gratitude and abundance. And that goal for myself, right, of being able to always remember that is what I really aspire for my clients to learn above all. And yes, I'm a business coach, but like I said before, do not put me in a box. I know you don't want to be in a box either, but it's like you can't put me in a box because people in my world have incredible success with their businesses, but it's more about who they're becoming and literally the shifts that are happening to them on a vibrational basis that are going to last a lifetime, right? They really learn to value who they are and what they're here to do in this world and other people. And that is so powerful. And a lot of people that I work with, they already have that energy and that mindset, which is so beautiful. But it is like continuing to do that work because it is continual work. It's not like one day we nail it and then we're good and we never have to work on ourselves again. This is a continual thing, right? And it's the same with our with our vibration to it's not something that we like once have a good vibe and then it's, oh, that's the standard for life now. It's to consistently work on that standard and consistently be aware and consistently want to grow and evolve and experience new things, right? All the vibes, smileys, yeah. You're like voicing all the lessons that I've learned this last year or two. Oh, how beautiful. I love that. So now with that said, I really want to start moving into sharing this secret project because this secret project has all to do with your vibes and your vibrations. Oh, I'm so excited. I don't even know how to start to explain this because it's so amazing, but I know that you're going to learn a lot more as you need to. Mary says, when we can learn to let go of those fears about money, we actually learn more. Yeah. Or earn more. Yeah. I love when you talk about how more time working doesn't equal more money. You can earn more just by being aligned with your business and yourself. Yeah, so my mom's visiting me currently and we were talking about this because we lived together back when I was in my hustle years and I legit worked all the time. And just today we were talking about like how funny it is because I was like, because Tuesdays are my like work creative day, but that doesn't mean that I'm like working. It means I'm doing whatever I need to do to be in the right vibration that I need to be, right? So some days that's literally watching Netflix and other days I'm creating programs and working all day and doing all the things. But I was on the couch and I was like, oh, I just feel like I need to start my day with Netflix today. And then as a joke, my husband was like, you're lazy. And I was like, yeah, I take lazy as a compliment now. That's like legit a compliment because I'm pretty sure it's my superpower. Because the more lazy I am, you know, in the traditional sense of the word, it's like the more magic happens in my life. And then my mom was like, well, no wonder you weren't successful back in the day because you worked so hard. It's true. Like, anyway, so, okay. So there is so much value in being around the right people, right? And in terms of what it can do for us, the possibility, the sisterhood, the connection, like we have such a beautiful sisterhood and connection in this group already. The clients that I've worked with, you know, the vibe, it's like a billion times next level when you're in actually one of my like offers. Like any of the programs that I do, they're just so amazing. Everyone always becomes BFFs and it's like a whole thing. It's amazing. And you are not lazy. No, I'm not lazy. It's like, it's a joke of the word, but it's what I used to think was lazy back in the day, right? But now I know it's just balance, harmony. It's me honoring what I need. So it's a completely different thing. But um, there's such a huge amount of value in that. And in my work, like like I said, I've been in business for a couple of years. I've built a multiple six-figure business, which I'm so proud of, and I'm so like, I love that I've done that. I love what it represents. I love that it represents my hard work. I love that it represents the people that I've got to help and work with over that time. And I have so many incredible offers that for people to be able to work with me, to work on the different pillars that I love working in, which is business, money, human design, spirit, like all the things. And we know that those are really, again, just the tip of the iceberg to all of the things that come underneath that.